at the at his store. I'm waiting on my my next store has like a noise curfew. I can't get there until 7, so I'm sitting here waiting for a little bit to you know, to get over there. It's only about 5 minutes to get over there. So anyways, you know, it's like Armageddon up here at work, right? And I think it's stupid because it's like, why don't you wait until this play out? If you don't know what I'm talking about, this week we started working as getting paid by the mile and by the drop, compared to where we were getting paid by the hour and everything like that. I know a lot of you guys have been speculating about how much we got paid. Now I got paid $20 an hour for 8 hours, and then $30 an hour after 8 hours, and pretty much every day I got between 10 and 14 hours every day. So I always had overtime, and I always made pretty good money, usually on average 250, 280, 300 in that area. Just depends on how much I did that day. Now a lot of drivers have left, from what I understand. I know that I've seen a lot of faces disappear, and I don't know a number, but I've talked to drivers that, oh, I'm going to quit, I'm going to quit, I'm going to quit. And the drivers that I have talked to, like, why don't you give it a chance? Why don't you give it a chance? Because if I'm doing my math accurately, we're actually going to be doing better, if you know, the same if not better. So this is our first week doing this, and this has been a slow week. They called me off on one of my days. This is my Friday. Well, actually, this is the last day of my pay period. Tomorrow's my Friday, so but this is like the last day of my pay period. Okay, so Sunday of last week is my first day. I was off for Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday I had a mediocre day. Both Sunday and Monday mediocre. Sunday I didn't really care because it was football game day, and I'm like, hey, I gotta get off. But I did my 2 loads and everything. I just did them as fast as I could, and I had a mediocre day. I'm not sure exactly how much. It was probably around 280, 250, somewhere around in there. But and then on Wednesday, when I got back from my weekend, it was another mediocre day, about around that much, you know, maybe around the 300 area, in that ballpark for that day. So, but then they called me off for the next day, and that's when I was like, oh man, that sucks, because I needed some, you know, I had my good flow going, you know, had my good flow going. I was going to, you know, make an average paycheck from where I was before, and but they called me off. I was like, oh. And it happens. This time of year is slow, and it's supposed to pick up in October and go all the way through Easter of, you know, next year's like 6 months of just running really good, and probably even past that. But they say, man, you know, it's going to be picking up here in the next week or two. So I'm like, okay. But they gave me that day off, and I was like, oh man, I'll tell you what, man, I wasn't really happy about that, but I understood it. Other drivers in previous week, they had called those drivers off. The way I saw it, it was my turn, but you never really like hearing that, unless it's like Sunday, like my Friday. Call me off that day. Call me off. I don't care. Do that. I don't care. I'm like, yes, 3-day weekend. But, you know, it was in the middle of the week. I was like, oh man, you know, that sucks. But I'm like, on pay wise, I'm sitting there thinking, man, I don't know, this is going to be a really short week. It'll be a really short week because I miss a whole day. And then yesterday happened. And I, well, it's confirmed. Not my figuring. Those other days were just my figuring. And my figuring on yesterday that I worked, I figured around $410 and I made that day. When they actually showed it to me on the computer, I actually made $454. Now, I made that in one day, 14 hours. And I want you guys to do a comparison. Getting paid by the hour with $20, okay, an hour for 8 hours, and then $30 for 6 hours because it was a 14-hour day that I did. We're looking at, what is it, $340? That's how much you make, and that's pretty much max because you're not really going to work that much over 14, if any. And so I mean, those days, you know, that's about as max as you could really make, between 340, 350, you know, whatever, because 14 hours is up, you're out in the yard. Now, you may be doing a post trip, dropping a trailer, doing paperwork, so you may work past 14 hours, but you're not going to be on the road. You're not going to work that much past that. Well, yesterday I put in right at 14 hours. And I made $110, $114 more yesterday getting paid by the mile and by the drop than what I did if I got paid by the hour. And all these drivers sitting there talking about, I'm quitting, this is going to suck, this is a pay cut. And I'm like, do you realize that you could be making more than what you're doing? That's why I told these guys, like, hey, don't quit, give it a chance. If it don't work out, then go find something. But how are you going to know if it's not going to work out if you don't try it? And because I've been through this before. I've been through this before at another company where, you know, I spent a number of years there. I've talked about it a lot on this channel. I'm not going to talk about it here because, well, you know, on this video, but I've done, it's my history on YouTube. Go look it up. But I remember when we were on salary, okay, when we first started off that account, we were on salary for about 3 or 4 months. And then they moved us to the mile. And again, drivers were freaking out. I was like doing my math on past loads. Like, this is actually, we're going to be paid more now. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be paid, you know, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a week, you know? And listen, you may think, well, that's not a lot, but when you're only working Monday through Friday, Monday morning through Friday evening, really working 40-ish hours, maybe 50-ish hours on the clock, when you're only doing 1,800 miles a week and you're still getting paid like that, that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? That's not bad. Now, obviously, with what we were doing there, we had our drop pay was great. It was like $25 a drop. That's how we made our money. So the more drops you did, the more money you had. And but with that though, I was like telling drivers, like, you know, stick it out. Don't just up and leave because something changes. Here's the thing about truckers. We hate change. Just hate it. Well, I do. A lot of drivers can deal with it. Like OTR drivers. They're always in changing environments. I got you. Myself, the way I've always done in my trucking career, where I've succeeded when I have a routine, when I have a pattern, when I have a route, when I have stuff like this. I know what I'm going to do. I like that. I love that. Love that pattern. I love predictability, and this is really predictable, and that's what I love about this, you know. And I've excelled in that in my career. I've excelled in it. This is what I'm good at. And I'll tell you this, I was telling these drivers here, it's like, please give it a shot. And some drivers left, some drivers, you know, actually listened to me. you know, and listen to other people tell me. It wasn't just me, but, you know, I was like, just give it a shot, man. And sure enough, this first week, this is the first week doing this. But just like I said in the last video where I talked about this, if dispatch looks at what you're doing and they say, well, you know, you're having a tough week, you know, maybe we'll give you this. Like this week, they called me off. Then the very next day, I pulled $454. Now, you averaged that out between 2 days. You know, that's what, $220 some odd dollars, $25. But did I just do that right? Yeah, something like that. But anyways, but it's in that line. I mean, if you average those two, I mean, it's like, it could be better, but again, I was off that one day, and yesterday made up for that. It made up for that. Just think if I worked 5 days a week, and every now and then I got those $450, you know, days. You know, you have your up and down days. You know, now those loads, those long runs, and I'll tell you what it was that threw those mileage up. I went to Abilene. You know, and I put over 500 miles on the truck, and so, I mean, that was, you know, we don't get that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Well, we get that, but not all the drivers get that. Most of the time, it's like going up a DFW. But what I think what dispatch is doing, they are seeing that they're going to have to spread these loads around. You can't give these Abilene or Bryan backhauls or Conroe backhauls. You can't give these to just one driver all the time, you know, or 2 or 3 drivers. They're, you know, favorite drivers. You can't play favoritism. You got to spread these things around to where everybody's making something. You're not going to make $400, $450 every single day. That would be nice, but if I did that 1 day a week, and then the rest of the days are, you know, $250 to $300 a day, and then you pull that one day that's like that, $400, $450, I'm like, hey man, you know, that really helps. Or multiple days that are $400, but you know, like I said, there's only so much of that going around. You just, not everybody could do that. There's only, you know, it's not like you could just magically pull loads out of a hat here. You know, you got what you got, you know, and you only have so many of those. But I can tell you this, is that the first week, I'm impressed, and I think this is going to work out. I know my work ethic, and I know what I could do. I know that I'm the kind of guy that, you know, likes to bust my tail, and I, like I said in the last video, I would see drivers ride the clock, you know, and this ain't for them. This ain't for them. This, if you're gonna make money here, you're gonna have to work, and I don't mind that, you know. I don't mind that, and I'd rather work, you know, and make more money in a short amount of period of time, and that is, you could do that here. You can do that with this system. You know what I'm saying? You can still work your 10, 12 hours a day and still make more money than what you were going to be paid by the hour, you know? So, unless you get stuck somewhere, like a backhaul where they live load you, now, you know, and that'll happen every now and then. That's just the name of it. That's trucking. I don't care if you're on a dedicated thing or if you're an OTR. You get a day at a dock, I mean, it's going to screw you. But a good thing about here is that, well, they notice that, say Monday, you get screwed over at a dock somewhere. That Tuesday, you go back to work, you know, they'll hook you up with, you know, something a little bit better to make up for that lost time on Monday. So, anyway, I really do think this is going to work out. But drivers are going to have to work. You know, this whole riding the clock business ain't happening anymore, and drivers know that. And I think those are the bad apples that are going to have to get weeded out. And I hate to say it like that, but really, that's what it's going to take. Me, myself, I know what I could do. You know, I hate doing this, but there's nothing I could do, right? Because it's what, 6:18, the store over here, I can't get there before 7, so I'm just sitting here waiting. So I figured I'd shoot this video, but you know, I hate doing this, but it all works out in the end. See what I'm saying? So anyways, thanks for watching the video. If you're interested in coming over here, follow my YouTube channel. I do various things. I don't do hub group videos just all the time. I have a little bit of fun and all that kind of stuff. Stands what I'm talking about. I have a little bit of fun, but at the end of the day, if you guys are interested, coming here, follow the channel, follow what I'm doing. If you're really interested, send me a message. You know, I'm not afraid to talk numbers, what we're currently getting paid. You know, like I said before, it was $20 an hour to $30 overtime after 8 hours, which is, you know, pretty fair. But I think by just looking at it on our first week, this is really actually going to work out. This is really going to work out, and I don't see a problem here. And you know, unless you're afraid to work. You know, if you come to work and don't want to work, then this ain't the place for you. You know, I mean, you come to work, okay? I mean, and that's just the only way about it. Like, when I'm up here, I'm away from the house, I'm away from, you know, the home, you know, everything. I'm here to work, okay? I don't like to goof around, you know, and when it's time to go home, it's time to go home. But when I'm up here, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna get it done as fast as I can too. I'm not gonna sit around and, you know, lollygag around. You guys know that. Anyways, because you know how I am at fuel islands. Fortunately, we don't have to fuel up at truck stops. But, you know, I'm usually pretty impatient when it comes to drivers lollygagging around. I don't like it. And especially when they get in my way doing it. But anyways, talk to you guys later. Sorry for a long video, but I'm really optimistic that this is really going to work out. Really going to work out. So hopefully you guys have a good one. Talk to you guys later. 73.